Crown, Crown, you can start. Let's start with what you have, and then we go to something, see what you have.
Teacher, which one should I start with?
Start with the questions.
Should I start with the question? I mean
Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Should I
hear
start
you.
with the punctuation marks or the questions?
Start with the questions, asking questions.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you have started sharing it. We can see.
Okay. So, is I going to be the one talking?
No, you're the one going to
I don't know
teach.
some pronunciations.
You're going to
I don't know some pronunciations.
add my voice to what you have, but you're going to take us through.
Okay, correct me when I say something.
Okay.
Okay. So, milizi katika Kiswahili. That means
Now you have not
asking questions
yet.
Swahili.
Crown.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear.
Teacher, breaking.
Put it in slideshow.
You haven't yet started. You haven't yet greeted us. Hujatusalimia. Kwanza tusalimia and then you start.
Can I just start?
Okay, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Milizi katika Kiswahili, that means asking questions in Kiswahili. So first I put the introduction. So these are words we use to ask questions in Kiswahili, of course. The questions usually come at the end of the sentence, while others can show up at the beginning or the end of the sentence. Okay, I meant to say the beginning or middle of the sentence. So these interrogatives or question words include nani, which means who or whom, gani, which means which or what, wapi, which means where, kwa nini, which means why, mbona also means why, ngapi means how many or how much, lini means when, nini means what, kipi means what thing, vipi means how, kwa sababu gani means what reason, then G, G that comes at the beginning of the sentence changes a sentence into a question. Then G that comes at the end of the sentence means and you. Then that other G, the last one which is used as an affix, means how. So can I ask you something?
Yes, please go ahead.
So there's an affix T. I'm not sure how to use it.
Have you written it here?
No, teacher, because I didn't know about it.
Okay.
Maybe you'll explain after I'm done.
Yes.
Okay, first I started with gani. Gani can mean which, what kind, or what sort. Gani is used at the end of a sentence. Mifano. Okay, mifano, which means examples. Unafanya kazi gani? Which means what kind of work do you do? Unapenda chakula gani? Which means what kind of food you eat. Then nikupe kitu gani? Teacher, what does that mean?
Should I give you?
Yes, teacher. I found these others on my own, but this class example, I got it from the prototype. I didn't know the meaning, that's why I tried it.
Which one?
This last sentence here.
Under nani?
Under gani.
Gani. Okay, unafanya kazi gani?
Yeah, this ni Nikupe kitu gani?
Unafanya okay, the translation you've given is very okay. Unafanya kazi gani?
I mean in the third sentence under gani.
Nikupe kitu gani? Yes, it is correct.
What does it mean?
Which means what thing? What thing should I give you? Or which it can be which thing should I give you or what thing can I give you? Kitu is something.
Okay. So the second question in word here is nani. Nani can mean who or whom. So nani is used at the beginning or end of a sentence. For example, nani kasema, which means who said. Jina lako nani? What is your name? Okay. Jina lako nani means what's your name, but if you translate it literally, yes.
Crown, maybe just I don't know who was not muted. There is some noise.
Yeah.
The Maima. Yourself, unmuted everyone. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, teacher. Can I continue?
Yes. Please, girls, let's make sure that we are all muted. We don't want that interference. Yes, you can continue. So one thing I wanted to first Crown. There's mfano ya kwanza, nani kasema, it's supposed to be nani alisema, who said.
Okay. Yes.
Wakati uliopita. So if you're using past tense, which is wakati uliopita, is nani alisema, who said. So you should make that correction.
Okay. Then the last example I put for nani is unaitwa nani.
Then maybe you and then unaitwa.
You're breaking.
Okay, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so unaitwa nani? You've gone you've the slide. We can't see that.
Okay, let me go back.
Yes. So class, please pay attention to the spellings. Nani means what is your name or what it is literal. When you translate it directly from English, it is what are you called? Crown, we can't see your screen.
I'm opening it. Yes, teacher.
Okay. So as I was saying, sorry for that interference. So I was saying that when someone asks you, what was Crown? Maybe just go back there so that you see. This is the third one.
Yeah. Why didn't you tell me? Kwa nini?
There's some problem.
Thelma, please stop that. Crown.
Yes, teacher, it's here.
Go down.
It's there.
Okay, yeah. So unaitwa nani? When you translate it directly from English, it is what are you called? But when somebody asks you unaitwa nani, that person simply wants to know your name. So unaitwa nani is what is your name. It's the same as jina lako ni. Okay.
Nani. Okay, so
and
the
then
next
Crown.
Yes.
I think you also please make correction when you said jina lako ni nini.
I'll correct it after because it's on slideshow mode.
Yeah.
I'm writing the corrections down.
Okay, it's okay. So okay, let's continue to the third one.
Okay, the third question in word is wapi. Wapi means where. Wapi is used at the end of sentences. Mifano, wewe unaishi wapi, which means where do you live? Unatoka wapi, which means where do you come from? Tunakwenda wapi, which means where are you going?
Okay. So thank you, Crown. Now, when you look at that, yeah, you're very fine. You're very all the unaishi wapi, or when you say wewe unaishi wapi, it's more of you repeating yourself. So you can remove unaishi wapi. Unaishi wapi. The you already shows that you are talking to someone. So let's remove wewe. Wewe seems to be more of a repetition. So you just say unaishi wapi. Then that is where do you live.
Okay.
And then go to the second one. You have unatoka wapi. And now unatoka wapi is where do you come from. You see now you already have the
Yes,
you.
teacher.
Class, I hope you are noting that. And then the third one is it's supposed you have tumekwenda wapi. It is supposed to be tunaenda, like just the way I'm saying it. Tunaenda wapi.
Okay.
Okay, continue. Thank you so much.
The next interrogative is kwa nini. Kwa nini means why. Kwa nini is used at the beginning of a sentence. For example, kwa nini ukiniamba, which means why didn't you tell me? Kwa nini ulitoroka, which means why did you escape? Kwa nini unasoma Kiswahili, which means why are you learning Kiswahili?
Okay. Okay, Crown, I can see somebody's hand. Maybe let's respond to, let's hear what Audrey has to say. Yes, Audrey, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Excuse me, teacher. Can you show the previous slide where number 2 was for nani?
Yes, Teacher Crown.
Teacher, I think I'll show the slides after because right now I don't have. If I go back, I'll have to edit the whole presentation.
Okay. Okay, so
Okay.
we'll go back. Okay, we'll look at the slides again one by one as you note, but you're going to get the work in Google Classroom.
Okay, teacher.
Okay. Okay, Crown. So yeah, you have kwa nini kuniambia, why didn't you tell me? Asante sana, you're very correct. Kwa nini ulitoroka, why did you escape? So class, please pay attention to how these questions are being used. Then kwa nini unasoma Kiswahili, why are you learning Kiswahili, or why are you studying Kiswahili? Asante sana, Crown, endelea.
So the next slide, mbona also means why. Mbona is used at the beginning of the sentence, just like kwa nini. I've given just one example because it's like the same thing. Mbona unasoma Kiswahili, which means why are you studying or learning Kiswahili? So mbona and kwa nini are like the same things.
Yes. So asante sana. So that is actually true. What mbona is used, it's the same thing as why. You're asking why, or you can use kwa nini. Okay, but class, I request that if you have a question, like for example, now we are doing the fifth one, please ask a question before we go to the next one, so that you are not left out. Okay, endelea.
Okay, ngapi. Ngapi means how many or how much. Ngapi is used at the end of the sentence, and it's the only question in word that can change according to the noun class used. For example, okay, for this first one, you didn't have to change the word ngapi. So it was unauzwa shilingi ngapi, which means how much is this sold. For the second and third one, you had to change like the form. You had to change ngapi according to the noun you use. So watoto wangapi, which means how many children. As you can see here, ngapi changes to wangapi, and that's according to the noun watoto. Then the third sentence, miaka mingapi, which means how many years. Also here ngapi changed according to the word miaka. Ngapi changed according to the word miaka.
Okay, asante sana Crown. Though we can't see the miaka, but thank you. Asante sana, makofi kwako. This is really a good one. So as she has said, class, before we just take the hands, with ngapi, it changes according to what the noun class is. Remember, we studied noun classes. We've seen ngeli ya awa, ngeli ya liya, ngeli ya ui, and we are still looking at more ngelis. So ngapi is how much, how many. So we have inauzwa shilingi ngapi, and she has said it is how much is this sold. And then watoto wangapi. So you realize the noun class has already changed. This is ngeli ya awa. With ngeli ya awa having the mtoto and then the wa watoto. So watoto wangapi, how many children. But Crown, you can see you've written children. That is children. You should change it as children.
Okay.
You have moved to another slide. Please move to the fifth. Yes. And then the other one is miaka mingapi. And miaka mingapi is how many years. Remember, you studied about mwaka, miaka.
Yeah.
It's also a noun class under ngeli ya i. I can see hands up. Maybe Crown, you can just take the hand. Okay, we have Atkunda Vanessa.
Teacher, I just wanted to ask, it was, I think, on the second slide about unaitwa nani, and you said it just means it means what are you called, but then we saw there that nani means who or whom. So in that sentence, where is who or whom in what are you called?
Can I answer her?
Yes.
Okay, when you put it in English, that's how it's translated. But when you translate it literally, like if you just translate it as it is, it won't make like any sense. You won't be able to understand it. That's how they say it in Kiswahili. But then when you translate it to English, that's how it is.
Okay. Vanessa, is that okay? Have you understood it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Asante sana Crown. Kazi nzuri sana. Tuendelee. I had seen Audrey's hand up, but I think she has lowered it. So, okay, let's continue.
Okay, the next slide, the next question in word is lini. Lini means when, and lini is used at the end of the sentence. For example, atakuja lini, which means when will she or he come. Mwalimu atafika lini, which means when will the teacher arrive. Atarudi lini, which means when will you return.
So, I think just like what she has said, lini is when you're asking a question and when that person is coming back, when that person is going home. So atakuja lini, when will she or he come? Mwalimu atafika lini, when will the teacher arrive? There are so many examples that you can list, but simply it's when you're asking a question, you use lini when you want to know when. Crown, endelea.
Okay, next
Crown, before maybe you continue, there's a hand. I know you can't see the screen, but there's a hand. Yes, Charity.
Excuse me, teacher, on the previous slide where we were using a certain word with and it Kipi and
Charity, I think you're breaking.
according to the noun classes that it has, plus it changes in such a way. Teacher, I'm asking. where it changes with different noun classes that it is used with. How do you know in such a way?
Okay. So I don't know, Crown, whether you got the question.
Yes, teacher, I got the question. She was asking how you know how to change that according to the noun class. I'm not really sure because those are the only ones I could understand.
Okay. So maybe I can help you. So Charity, when you look at the noun class, like for example, when somebody says watoto wangapi, you realize that there is something that is actually changing there. Unlike when you say mtoto mgani or something like that. So when somebody says watoto wangapi or watoto ngapi, you see, when you say watoto ngapi, it doesn't actually make sense because you already have the wa toto. The wa shows that the kids that you're talking about are actually in plural. So and I think if I got your question well, you're asking how do you know that the noun class is changing? We are already doing noun classes. We've done our, we've done ui, we've done lia. So you change it depending on the noun class. You just look at how words are actually changing. Like when I say watoto wangapi, and then when I say miti mingapi, you see, they're already different because I have miti mingapi and watoto wangapi. So you realize that the noun class is already changing. I hope I have answered your question. Okay, Crown, endelea.
Okay, teacher. Okay, the next question in word is nini. Nini means what? Nini is used at the end of the sentence. For example, unapika nini, which means what are you cooking? Unafanya nini, what are you doing? Tutakula nini, which means what will we eat?
Yes, asante sana Crown. Maybe that is it. I can't really add much, but Nini, I think her screen has gone off, but Nini it's simply what? Nini what? So when somebody asks you utakula nini, what will you eat? Utaenda wapi? Utaenda wapi is another thing. That is we already saw that. Utaenda wapi, and then maybe utakula nini, maybe utakunywa nini, what will you drink, and so on. So nini is actually what? Okay, Crown, your screen is back, you can continue, but unless someone has a question there, I can see Lena's hand up. Yes, Lena?
Teacher, how comes most of these associative words come at the end of a sentence in Kiswahili, but when you translate they're at the beginning?
Yeah, so this is Kiswahili. I can't actually give the reason, but this is just Kiswahili.
Okay,
It's how
teacher,
Kiswahili is, and we should understand. You should understand it
it's
like
just
that.
like a local language. When you translate some words, they're at the beginning, but then others they're at the end.
Okay, yeah. So Lena, we just let us understand it because it's a language, and every language has its unique characteristics. Like now, when you go to English and you ask yourself, why is it that when you go to English and ask yourself, why is it that a word with a similar, that a word that is written the same can have different meanings? Like when you say present and present, you say something, and also you see there are so many things that you ask yourself, but let's just understand it the way it is. But I love what Crown has said, that if you relate it to your local language, that is, if you know your local language, if you relate it, you realize that they are very similar, that Kiswahili is actually similar to what you use in your local language. I can see Atukunda's hand up.
Teacher, I'm just asking about, it's like similar to what Charity was talking about like wangapi and ngapi. I'm wondering, why is it on like the example that Crown gave us? I think it was miaka ngapi. Why did it change to ngapi? Then the other, I think it was about watoto. It changed to wangapi. How do you know which one changes to ngapi and which one changes to wangapi?
Crown, can you
Then,
answer that or I answer?
okay, so for watoto, then that was miaka. Yeah, it was miaka. So watoto, as you can see, it's ngeli we used, the noun class we used. So it was watoto, that's why it was wangapi, that wa. Then also for miaka, that me at that noun class, the one we use, that's how you get that's how you get
So, Crown, am I the only one who knows?
question. That's how you start a question. So
Crown, are you still saying something or you're done?
teacher, yes, I'm saying something. So you only change it like in plural form because like teacher said, you can't just put watoto ngapi because the plural, because that would be like putting the singular form. You'd be talking about one child. So instead of saying watoto ngapi, you have to put watoto wangapi. I don't know if you understand. Maybe teacher can explain more.
Okay. So Atukunda, or maybe let me say the class, let all of us should take note that please let's master the noun classes ongeli. When we talk about ngeli, how you construct your sentence in Kiswahili matters a lot if you know ngeli. So the best way is to know ngeli, know all the noun classes. Please pay attention to those noun classes. If you have forgotten the noun classes, just go back and look at ngeli ya awa, and then ngeli ya ui or mmi, and then ngeli ya liya. That is what we did last week. So how you construct sentences matters a lot, and it will depend on how you understood ngeli. So, and yeah, maybe that is it. So please pay attention to ngeli. And I know we are going to look at more ngelis and how we can actually keep constructing sentences using and then how we put different sentences in different ngelis. That is why last week if you realized, I tried constructing some sentences in ngeli ya liya and I put them in a box for you to differentiate avivumishi, to differentiate viwakilishi, vitenzi, nomino, because I want you to understand the noun classes. But once you know ngeli, then Kiswahili is going to be very simple for you. And then one thing that we're also going to look at deeper is the tenses. I know we looked at tenses before you went home, but we are still going to look at tenses or nyakati. Tenses are called nyakati. We are still going to look at them so that we are actually able to construct our sentences very well. I think, Crown, you can continue.
Okay. So the next slide, the next questioning word is kipi. Kipi means what thing. Kipi can be used at the beginning or end of a sentence. For example, kitu. Oh, sorry, I meant kipi can be used at the middle or end of a sentence. So, for example, kitu kipi kimepotea, which means what thing has gotten lost. Then Ameleta kipi, which means what thing has she brought.
Yes. So rather, I think I don't have much to add from because that what Crown has said is it Kipi is simply, you're also asking a question. But now when you look at Kipi mostly goes with the Angelia ya Kivi. Though we haven't yet looked at ngeli ya Kivi, but we are going to look at it. And I know when you look at it, you'll understand it. You'll understand it the more. So Kipi is also asking a question of what thing, and kitu kipi kimepotea. When you look at kitu kipi, you see now we have the kitu, and then we have the ki, and then we have kimepotea. If it would be, maybe if you'll be looking at maybe ngeli ya ui, it would be maybe kitu ipi imepotea. So there's a lot that we are going to learn, but we just need patience, and you have to have an open mind to actually learn all these things. So it's okay. Thank you, Crown and Delea. Unless anyway, I think Crown, maybe before you continue, I can see Hope's hand. Yes, Hope.
Excuse me, teacher. On kipi, kitu kipi kimepotea, what does, on the kimepotea area, what does the ki stand for?
Ki now stands for the ngeli ya kivi. It's like now when you say, I hope it's like when you say, what has the watoto wamepotea? What does the wa shows? What does the wa shows there? You see, so ki shows that it is actually ngeli ya kivi. That particular thing, because they're talking about kitu, and kitu is under ngeli ya kivi, though we've not yet looked at ngeli ya kivi, but we are going to look at it, but it is just ngeli.
Okay, teacher, so what does kimepotea mean? I know that I've understood the tenses of me and potea, but when you say it, what does it mean fully, kimepotea?
Maybe who can help Hope and tell us what does that means? Anyone? I can't see anyone's hand, but kimepotea simply means, it is even on the screen. I will look at your screen. It has which thing has gotten lost. So kimepotea is actually getting lost. So which thing is lost?
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So like when somebody tells you umepotea, it's somebody is saying you are lost. Umepotea is just getting lost. Maybe kitabu yangu kimepotea. My book is lost, or my book has gotten lost. Yes.
Okay, should I continue?
Yes, endelea.
So the next question in word is vipi. Vipi means how. Vipi can be used at the beginning or end of a sentence, or even middle. For example, unaenda vipi shuleni, which means how will you go to, it's supposed to be how will you go to school. I wrote that instead of school, but I'll correct that. Then the second sentence, vipi hali, which means how are you? Yeah.
Yes, so that is it. So vipi is how, and as Crown has explained, you can say unaenda vipi shuleni. Or another thing is, I don't know, Crown, whether you have aje. Do you have aje?
No.
Okay, you can also use aje to explain how. Utaenda aje shuleni. Aje is A, J, E. So Crown, maybe correct this. It's supposed to be how will you go to school, not work. So shuleni is school, and then kazini is work. Yes, and then vipi hali is how are you. Vipi is also a slang. Okay, it's, I don't know whether you've heard about sheng. It's a sheng. You can just tell someone vipi, like you're asking someone, how are you, or how have you been? Just say vipi. So it can also be used as a slang.
I have a question.
Yes.
What does aje mean?
Aje is how.
Okay.
Aje can also mean how.
Okay.
So you can say unaenda aje shuleni? How will you go to school?
Okay.
Okay. I can see, yes, Hope.
Excuse me, teacher. I thought when you're using will, they're supposed to be, I thought it's supposed to be utaenda vipi shuleni, because like we're using will.
Unaenda, how will you?
I thought
Yeah,
we
yeah.
used utaenda.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Hope. That is it. So yeah, you're right. So that is the tense. It's supposed to be how are you? going to work. Okay, how are you going to school? Thank you so much for that observation. I had not realized that. Asante sana. I love, you're such a brilliant class, very attentive and observant. So Crown, we should change that. Remember, we said that the una simply means that thing is actually happening. So unless you want to change it and say utaenda vipi shuleni, to be how will you go to school. Asante sana. Okay, Crown, endelea.
Okay. So the next thing is, teacher, is that pronounced as J?
Yes, that is J.
Okay, the first one is J at the beginning, and so my screen is getting, let me first clear my screen. Okay, J at the beginning. Okay, you can include this in your sentence and it changes it into a question, and it simply requires a yes or no answer. Yes in Kiswahili is ndiyo and no is hapana. So when you, it means that when you ask this question, the answer you require from that person is either a yes or a no. For example, Je umekula, which means have you eaten? So the person can either say ndiyo, which means yes, or hapana, which means no. The second question is Je utakwenda, which means will you go? The person can also say yes or no.
Okay, so asante sana Crown, makofi kwako. So J, as she has said, is used at the beginning of a sentence, but it depends on what kind of sentence you want to construct. So when she has said that the answer to this question can either be ndiyo or hapana. So it's like, okay, when I loosely translate J to English, it's like, so have you eaten? So that is it. So have you eaten? So when you see, when you say that, someone will either tell you yes or no. And then maybe Crown, you should correct this. It will be Je utaenda, Je utaenda, not utakwenda, eh? It's utaenda. So
Okay.
will you go? And if you want to translate this directly to English, it would be, so will you go? So J is used at the beginning and it's used to ask a question. And the question, you'll either give a yes, which is said, or hapana, which is sana Crown. I can. Davina.
Okay.
Excuse me, teacher. I was saying that on the spelling of dio, isn't it NDIO without a Y?
No, it is when you're ndio, it's also right. The ndio you're talking about is a right one, but when you're talking about yes, with yes you say ndio. The other ndio we are going to look at it, but they're all the pronunciation is the same, but we are going to look at how we use the other ndio. But when you're saying yes, you use this ndio. When you're saying hapana, no, you use hapana. I can see Patricia's hand.
Teacher, is it Mifano or Mifano?
Mifano.
If Mifano is the plural form of
Mifano.
Which means
So
I'm giving examples and not one example.
Yes. So class, there is a poll that is running. Please make sure you respond to that poll so that we take your attendance. Okay, continue, Crown.
So the next question in word is J at the end of the sentence, and it means and you or what about you. It used to ask and you or what about you, and it's used at the end of the sentence. Examples include mimi sijambo na wewe je, which means I am fine and you. Then there's This is supposed to be Mimi. I wrote N instead of M. I'll correct that. So, Mimi ni mwanafunzi na wewe je, which means I am a student, and you? Yeah.
Yes, Asante Crown. I think I have nothing much to add. Just as Crown has said, a J can also come at the end of the sentence, but as you realize, she has put the J in small letters. The other one is in capital letter. It's in a capital letter. This one is a small letter. So when she says Mimi sijambo, meaning I am fine, what about you? I can see hands up. Let me see, Atwine, Stacy.
Teacher was asking, so when you're saying and you, does it have to be na wewe je? Is it?
Come now, and na wewe je? Okay, what do you mean?
Like when you're saying a sentence like and you're going to put and you at the end, is it a must, like you have to always put na wewe je?
No, it's not a must. It's not a must. You can even say na wewe, like mimi sijambo na wewe, and then you put a question mark to show that it is a question. You can, at times you can even, it depends on how you want to construct your sentence, but you can also do away with that, with a J.
I think she's asking if you use this J along with na wewe.
No, it's not a must. It's not a must.
Can you give an example without na wewe?
Okay, you can say mimi sijambo na wewe.
Meaning, can you give an example without na wewe but with J?
Oh, okay. So you can say maybe nitakula ugali. Nyinyi, like nyinyi is you, but now when you think about nyinyi, it's like many people. Nyinyi is many people. So you can say nitakula ugali. Nyinyi, then you put the question mark saying and you, then you put the question mark. Or you can also say maybe nitakula ugali. Nyinyi je? Then you put the question mark.
Okay.
Yes.
Continue.
Yes, continue. And let me first, there was another hand crown. Let me see. There was a hand up. I don't know. Yes, there is Majo. Yes, Majo.
Teacher, I was asking that on the first example, she said mimi sijambo na wewe je, and in translated, she said I am fine and you. So in Kiswahili, like before the translation, can't you put a question, okay, like a comma or something like that? It should just be like full question like she said. Because yeah, in translation, she put a comma, and in the second one, she did not put a comma. So okay, in Kiswahili, should we put a comma or not, or you should just leave it?
No, there's no need for the comma. In Kiswahili, there's no need for the comma.
Okay, teacher.
And then in other words, by the way, you can also remove the mimi and say sijambo na wewe je. You just remove the mimi. Mimi, okay, mimi sijambo, you can use it, but it's more of repetition. Like when you say mimi and then we already have si. You know, when you say sijambo, you're already meaning yourself. And now we are going to look at this more because when, like now it's, for example, when saying hatujambo. When you say sisi hatujambo, you see you're repeating yourself. You have the sisi and then you have the hatujambo. So you can also do away with the mimi and just say sijambo na wewe je. I can see more hands up. Yes, Chirabo.
Excuse me, teacher. On the first J that you can put at the beginning, can you use it in past tense?
How?
Like je ulikula.
Yes, you can. Je ulikula. Then you put the question mark to show that it is a question. Yes, you can. Hope. Yeah, I can see Anna.
Teacher, I was asking, can you on the second one where Je ends, can you just say mimi si jambo na Je? Can you just say that?
No, you have to actually bring the other person. Now, when you say na Je, it doesn't show that you're meaning anyone. It's like now you're meaning the Je, but you don't have anyone called the Je. So you have, maybe you mention somebody's name, maybe you can say na Ana, or maybe na wewe, na, okay, something like that. You put somebody's name. Na Gladys.
Teacher, excuse me, Chair, can you please repeat the meaning of J, the first J? What does it mean in English?
The first J, no, the first J is simply what Crown has put there. It means that you put it at the beginning, and it's like you're asking, so have you eaten? Like when you loosely translate it to English, it's like, so have you eaten? So have you gone home? So are you reading? Je, unasoma? Je, umeenda nyumbani? I don't know whether we are getting that.
It just simply changes a sentence into a question.
Yes.
Because you could say umekula, but then if you put that J, it changes it into a question.
Crown, was that the last one, so that we take the hands that there are more hands up?
Teacher,
Is that the
there's
last
one
one?
more.
Okay, let's first complete the other one before we.
There's J as an affix. So this J is used as an affix. Is joined to the verb that is used. So it means that you put the verb, then you join J to it as one word. This time you don't put the J separately. You join it to the verb to form one word. For example, unaenda.
Crown, did we lose you, or I'm the only one that has a poor network?
Me too, I can't hear her.
Okay, Crown, I think maybe her network is bad. And she's actually speaking. I think she thinks we are hearing her. Crown.
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm talking.
Yes, we can now hear you. Okay, you can continue.
Okay, the next question. Unasema, then that J, but you pronounce it as one word, which means you'll say unasema Je. So it means, how do you say it?
Okay, so thank you so much, Crown. So as she has said, J as an affix, where you have to join the J with another word. You don't put it as a separate word as we've done with the others. So when you say unaendelea je, how are you doing? Those are mfano. And then unajuaje, how do you know? You can say even ulijuaje, how did you know? Or utajuaje, how will you know? You just change the una. You can say the uta, umejuaje, ulijuaje. You can actually keep changing. Crown, your screen has gone off.
Can you see it?
No, yes, now we can see it. But you can go up a bit.
Okay. Let me go back.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And yes, asante sana. Then unasemaje? How do you say it? But for unasemaje is unasemaje is like, okay, when you use unasemaje class, it's like you want to seek for somebody's opinion. So it's maybe, what do you think about it, or what do you say, or how do you say it? You can, like what Crown has said, you can say how do you say it. It is also fine, but it can also be maybe you're seeking for somebody's opinion. Maybe, what do you think about it? How do you think about it? To ask somebody.
Hi.
Unasemaje? Okay, so I hope that is clear. Maybe Crown, before you go to the next slide, let's just take the hands that are up and see what they have to ask. Let me start with Marjorie.
Teacher, I'm sorry, I left my hand up. Let me put it down.
Chigude.
Teacher, is this correct? As on this thing, yes, affix, is this sentence correct? Unalala Je, is it correct?
Yes. Unalala Je meaning glad is, what does that mean?
How did you sleep?
How did you know? When you want to say how did you sleep is ulilala
Smells
Je.
like clean fumigation.
What do you think that is smelling that?
You say ulilala Je.
Teachers continue chatting.
Hana, hiyo ni tabia mbaya. Okay, so Gladys, when you say unalalaje is how are you? Okay, you change it to say ulilalaje if you want to mean how did you sleep?
Okay, teacher, thank you.
So pay attention to the tenses. Vivian.
Does it always have to be how?
Yes, when you're using the je.
Yes. Okay,
yes,
I forgot to
yeah,
put
it has
in
to
the
be
bracket, but this J as an affix means how.
Yes, it has to be the how. Okay. Chirabo.
Teacher, on this first one, unaenda liaje. What does liaje mean?
That is what Crown, maybe you can re-echo that to Chirabo.
So, and the layer, I think it means like doing something. Then that J means how. That J at the end means how. So when you put it all together, una and the layer J, it means how are you doing?
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So asante sana Crown. Maybe I can see Teacher Javi. Teacher Javi has been with us. Teacher Javi, do you have something to say before Crown winds up with the last slide?
Thank you, Teacher Christine. I just want to thank Crown so much. I don't know how you did it, but she has been a very good co-teacher with you. And for the rest of the girls for listening actively and participating where necessary.
Okay, Crown, okay. Asante sana Teacher Javi. Crown, maybe let's go to the last slide.
Okay. In this last slide, I just put some questions which I thought were common. Like Yuko wapi, which means where is he? Ni kitu gani, which means what is this? Then Mbona una huzuni, which means why are you sad? Then Jina lako nani, which means what is your name? Unaishi wapi, which means where do you live? Ni saa ngapi, which means what time is it? Since we're studying about time, I just included that. Then Amelala, which means, I think I forgot to put something here.
Is he sleeping? Okay, Crown, asante sana. So maybe just to maybe re-echo what Crown has said, when you talk about Yuko wapi is where is he or she. So it can be a he or a she. Ni kitu gani? What is this? That is okay. And then mbona una huzuni? Why are you sad? That is it. And then jina lako ni nani? Jina lako ni nani? So Crown, you've missed out something on jina lako ni.
Okay, teacher, what did?
To be what is your name? And then unaishi wapi? Where do you live or where do you stay? And then ni saa ngapi? What time is it? Then amelala. So Crown, here pay attention to the tense. When you say amelala, it means that this person has already slept. So when you say amelala, you say has he slept? Has he slept? If you wanted to mean is he sleeping is analala, and then you put the question mark. You can actually put any other verb here. You can even say anakula, amekula, atakula, and then you put the question mark to show that it's a question. Like, is he eating?
Yeah.
Is she sleeping? Yeah, so there you pay attention to the tense or the nyakati.
Yeah.
Okay. So asante sana Crown. Maybe before we wind up, let's take the hand. I see some hands up. Hosanna, please be very fast because of time.
Yes, teacher, my connection was not okay at the beginning. I wanted to ask her what does anaitwa nani mean?
Crown?
Yes.
Crown, someone is asking a question.
Yes, teacher.
She has asked, what does anaitwa nani mean? Do you remember?
No.
Teacher, I remember.
Okay.
It's like saying, what are you called? What's your name?
Asante sana. I hope makofi kwako. I hope, Hosanna, that is clear. Let's have Charity.
Thank you.
Yes, teacher. I'm asking about the common questions where they said Nisa ngapi, which means what time is it? How come when we're explaining what ngapi means, we said it means how many or how much? How come here it's being translated as what?
Okay, so there are words that are used. Okay, let me say. Okay, like that. Let me just like in English, there's a word that you use to mean different things. So even in Kiswahili, words are flexible. You can use words to mean different things. So this is what is happening here. When you say ni saa ngapi, is what time is it? So it's also acceptable that you can use it. You can use the ngapi depending on what message you want to convey to the other person.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let me have Chirabo.
I actually had 2 points. I was asking for clarification on one. In the tense may, which is the present perfect, that is where we use has or have, and in the tense na, that is where we use are, is. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And
you're correct. And actually, we are going to look at that in our next lesson. We are supposed to do it today, but because of time, we are going to look at it in our next lesson.
Yes, teacher. And another thing, last week I missed the lesson for Kiswahili. I was kindly requesting you put the recording for the lesson on the YouTube platform.
Okay, the IT team will sort that out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Marjorie, please very fast because of time. Marjorie, okay, let's have Pamela.
Teacher, is the slideshow going to be on Google Classroom? Because right now it's not there. The one you've just shown.
Yes, we are going to post the work to Google Classroom.
Okay.
Teacher, I was asking that when they say that Unaishi, wapi, they say like where do you live? Can I say that Unaishi, wapi, meaning where do I live? Like
no, you can. When you say Unaishi, it means it is a it. It is used with e. Inaitwa nini? It is in. Like you use that word. But when you want to mean, unless you want to say ninaishi, maybe Gayaza. When you say ninaishi Gayaza, you mean I stay in Gayaza or I live in Gayaza. So if you want to say, if it's about you, Marjorie, you say Nina. But if it is another person, you're asking another person, it is Una.
Oh, okay. Thank you, teacher.
Yeah. Okay.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, Hosanna.
In Crown's presentation, at the last one, I saw Mwisho. What does it mean?
Mwisho is end.
Okay, thank you.
Mwisho is the end. I can hope do you have a question or class?
Yes,
let's wind up.
Just one last question. Which tense is what used?
Which what?
which tense is why used?
So okay, which tense is why used? Is when you're talking about a plural or wingi, but it has to go with ngeli ya a wa. Watoto wangapi? Watoto wamekula.
No, teacher, actually, I was meaning like what, the English word, W-E-R-E, which tense is it in? Like, you know how na, tense na goes with is, are, where does wa go? Which tense does it go?
Okay, I don't know whether I'm really getting your question, Yuni, as well.
Teacher,
So she's asking that which tense does the word W-E-R-E, like the way has and have go with tense may. So where does?
Oh, okay. So the word that wa actually is embedded in the wa. Like now when you say, maybe like let's use an example, maybe the students were eating. Wanafunzi walikuwa wanakula. So the students wa has been embedded in walikuwa. Eunice, is that okay? Is that clear?
Yes, so it's using the past tense.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So you say wali. You see, you already have the wali. Li, eh?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Walikuwa wanakula. The students were eating. Now, Marjorie, the last person.
Teacher, could you please send the work where it had the colors? I didn't see it on Google Classroom. Which had the colors, the name of the colors.
No, the work is already in Google Classroom and it is under Vivumishi.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It's under Vivumishi. So otherwise, class, thank you so much for your lesson. Crown, thank you so much. I think Crown has dropped off, but Crown, thank you so much. If someone can actually tell her, amefanya kazi nzuri sana. I'll see you next week and have a good day. In case you have more questions, you can post the questions to the WhatsApp group if you are there. Asante sana Teacher Javi kwa kuwa na sisi.
Karibu.
Show what WhatsApp group.
Kiswahili Gaza WhatsApp group.
Thank you for the lesson.